when you look back historically, because you're a historian of the subject, what's the one event to you that stands out the strongest where you go, you know what, right here, this is the one we need to talk about?
Potentially Starfish Prime, the nuclear test in space.
Operation Starfish Prime. I can't believe you went there. Okay, go ahead and tell everybody about it.
Well, for people who don't know, that was a nuclear test, quote-unquote test, in space. And we learned quite a lot from that test. It was the main test where we really were able to study and learn about EMP. This was also happening during, oddly enough, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
That's right, 1962.
So when the whole world was focused on the Cuban Missile Crisis, something else was going on. And that something else may have brought something down. And that something that brought down we may have learned a lot about that, about EMP specifically, and its ability to catch things that are hiding. What happened once we started playing with nuclear weapons? UFOs showed up everywhere.
Every time.
And every time. And you got to think, why? Well, there's a big reason why. Because nuclear weapons will F up those little ankle biters bad, and they know it. And even they, as advanced as they are, they can't get away from it. And makes you really wonder why we did so many nuclear tests. It makes you really wonder why we did like 30,000 tests all over the world, in oceans, underground, up in the sky, and why we all have so many nuclear weapons. It's a big deal, you know. I'm not going to say it's all for this, but I was told something really, really, really important. The entire Cold War, we were working with the Soviet Union. We were together with them. And it was the one thing that kept the Cold War from going hot, was our relationship together on this issue. We weren't dumb and just went and lit up a nuke when we were in a standoff with Russia, you know, the Cuban Missile Crisis, where everyone's like, oh, my God, we're all going to die. And we said, well, then we might as well do a nuke test. You know, it's like, no, it didn't work that way. They knew we did the nuke test. They were probably in the room with us when we did that test, because there was a small group of people on both sides that were trying to do exactly what they did, which was fly swat some bugs out of the sky. What we found in Starfish Prime was different than what we found in Roswell, okay? But equally as important, but a whole nother story all in itself, if that makes sense. And that's all I want to say. You have shows like Ancient Aliens and every other thing out there that's coming up with these bizarre ideas that aliens built everything. And now people are not, you know, or now people are, for a lack of a better term, worshiping aliens. Aliens built everything. Aliens made us. Aliens are the gods. Aliens this, aliens that. And I said, that's what happens when there's a vacuum. And it got filled with something that is no good. So we're going to come out of this thinking that aliens are good, and they're not, you know, and at least this one specific race I'm talking about. So, and I call them the bugs, because, you know why I call them the bugs? Because other people call them the bugs.